Hi everyone, and welcome back to Bedition Candle Co channel. In today's podcast and footage of me prepping jars and making some candles, I want to share my story of opening my own candle business in 2 years. I want to tell you all my experience and problems and obstacles I had along the way. Let me start from the beginning. It was October 2021 and I received a message from my mom. She said, why don't you open your own candle business? You like candles, so why not? My first thought was, it's so expensive. Like, if you're thinking about business, you know that it's so expensive. You have to be responsible for everything and you're the boss. But also, you know that in these days, it's so competitive. So there is a lot of candle makers, a lot. Like every day, someone opening a candle business. It becomes really hard to be visible to everyone and have your own customers. But don't be worried. Every business have its own customers, so you just have to give it some time. As I was saying, I thought that it's so expensive and it was really competitive. I was scared to start something like that. It took me maybe 3 or 4 months before I actually started to making my first candles and first burning test, just to research what kind of materials I have to order. And after that, I guess it was April, I started to making my first candle tests. Unfortunately, I remember myself starting with the hardest wick. That was wooden wick. This is the hardest wick to work with for a new business, especially because it's a tree and it's hard to understand why it's not crackling, why it's not staying lit. After that, I left all my packages with the 100 of wooden wick and I started working with the regular cotton wicks. So that process took maybe 6 months to 1 year to just make a perfect candle that I love how it performs, and the hot throw, the cold throw, and how it burns to the bottom. And maybe you're wondering why it took so much time for me to test candles. So first, I want to tell you that I switched, I don't remember, maybe 4 or 5 different wax types. I started with the first wax and then the supplier discontinued it. So yeah, that was really frustrating. It happened to me 4 times. Then I ordered a really high quality and so expensive wax from Wooden Wico. It called in the past, but right now it's called Makesi. I really like their materials, but I'm located in Israel and they're from US. So you know, the shipping was really expensive for me, so I couldn't afford this wax anymore. And now I have an advice for you to find a wax that you can find in other stores or other suppliers. Don't choose a special and custom wax, because when this wax will be discontinued, you will have to start all over again. After I had my successful test for my 4 scents, I decided to pour 4 candles to give for my friends and family, just to try my candles and to receive some feedback. And my mom gave these all 4 candles for her co-workers. Then after a couple of days, I'm receiving a message from my mom and she said, we need an order of 50 candles. And I was like, what? How? I only had my first 4 successful candles, and then my mom asked me for a wholesale order. It's like a really wholesale order. I didn't even had a 50 tens. It was my 10th candles. You don't even know how I was happy and exciting. Your first wholesale order. I started really fast working on the candles. I worked 2 days in a row really hard to pouring all these candles, and I didn't had a wick holders, so I had to think about something that will hold the wicks. That was really a mess. Now you'll be shocked. My mom calls me and she tells me that, oh, you can leave the candles for yourself, like for your first time when you're opening your candle business. And I was like, what? You asked me for 50 candles by tomorrow, and now what? What is happening? And then she explained to me that their boss wanted to make a gift for co-workers for a new year, like we have in Israel our new year in September. It's a holiday number 1 and everyone just starting to be crazy and searching for presents and everything. I gave them the price list. It was maybe $30 and she said okay. After a while, their boss says that it's not in their budget. Like, they had a lower budget and they don't need my products anymore because it's so expensive. Just think about it when you have a situation like that, how you will solve it, how you will feel. I was really disappointed and angry. From that story, I learned that every time somebody wants to make a wholesale order from you, you have to think about a prepayment. I don't know how much it has to be, maybe 10, maybe 30%, or maybe 50. It's all up to you. So yeah, that was really sad and interesting story, but also a lesson for me. I don't want you to have lessons like that, so think about it. Speaking about my website and the photo shoot of my product, so it took me maybe 3 months to build my own website on the Shopify platform. I really recommend to you using Shopify platform because it's so easy and you can build your own website by yourself. And I think you can have a 14 days trial. About my product photography, it took me 1 week using just my iPhone 12 Pro Max. And if you know, there is a portrait mode, so it looks really professional when you're using this mode. It blurs the background on the pictures, so it looks really good. And nobody can tell you that you're using your phone or it's a professional camera. If you thought that you will end the testing process someday and you will never test again, then you're really wrong. The testing process never ends. First of all, you always have to test the new batch of wax. I had 1 batch of wax, it was 5 kilo. It was bad batch, and this wax made a lot of problems for my candles. They looked like a clouds. I don't know if you know what I mean, but this wax was like really bad quality. And I didn't test this wax to see if it's the same formula or not. I just made a lot of tests for my candles with this bad wax. That was really a waste of my wicks, waste of the fragrance oil and my time. So yeah, because of that situation, you have to be careful with not testing your products when you're buying a new batch, especially for the wax because you're buying in a bulk, and that's a lot of wax and it costs a lot. And the testing will also help you to feel more confident about your products and their quality. That will be all for today's video. Thank you for watching and listening to this kind of podcast. I will have links down below for my website and Instagram account. Thank you for your time and I will see you in my next video.